Welcome back to Midday. We have Patrick Davey joining us from WorkSafe BC. It's great to have you back on the show.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Great to have you. With summer now here, of course, a good time to talk about this topic, and that is worker safety when it comes to our young people.
Absolutely. You know, right now we're having a lot of people getting out of school, going out. They're excited about learning new things, new industries, but it's also a potentially hazardous time as new workers. What we've found is that young workers, potentially they're way more at risk than normal workers. In fact, 1 in 5 of young workers are injured within the first 30 days of work. And statistically, when we look at some industries, some of the more serious industries like construction, heavy duty, we're finding that the young workers that are injured, over 50% of them are injured between the months of May and August, summertime jobs.
So these are a lot of maybe students that are going from like during university age even, they're working during the summer. Yeah. Why is it that they are injured more likely to be injured than others?
Well, I think, and remember, young workers really means from the age of 15 to 24. When we talk about why, a lot of them have very small amounts of workplace experience and training. And so they don't know their boundaries, their limitations. They don't know what's potentially right and wrong on certain circumstances in the workplace. This leads them to going out and getting jobs that are probably potentially more hazardous because they're not trained. They're going to be more physical jobs. So when we look at it too, more than half of the serious injuries and fatalities involving these young workers happen in the first 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Do you think also young people are not as aware of the hazards? They're more eager to please their boss. They don't realize, you know, I could be taking a chance here, and they'll go ahead and do something without thinking it through.
I think, you know, this whole invulnerability. Yeah. They don't know those boundaries. They have no frames of reference. How much is too much to lift, all that, and they don't believe they're going to get hurt.
Right. What are the top 5 workplace dangers?
Number 1 is lifting. Again, if you've never had an injury, if you don't know your boundaries, if you don't know how much you should lift, you're going to lift until it hurts. That's the number 1. We look at the next one, construction, working at elevations. They peer pressure, they want to do things right, they go into places where they shouldn't be, they don't know about fall protection, they fall. Moving into the kitchens, knives are the 3rd top ones. Mm-hmm. In the kitchen again, working with hot substances. If you've ever seen somebody change out the hot fat fryer with all the grease, it's pretty tricky. The 5th one really is operating motor vehicles and equipment. Now, the top 4 industries that young workers are getting hurt in the most is probably what you expected: construction, manufacturing, retail, and the service industry, which is talking about the kitchens and that.
Okay. I know we have a video that we're going to watch. Speaking of the kitchen part of the dangers, this employee has a very bad incident happen to him. Let's take a look.
As soon as that oil hit my skin, I heard the sound when you drop French fries in a deep fryer. That sound of sizzling skin.
What happened? Call 911. Right now!
Danny grabbed that hose and didn't even think about it. He turned it on me and sprayed me down right away. That bought me some time. My body never went into shock, and I felt every single thing.
So first of all, there's the accident that happens on the job, but then you have other people trying to help, and are they helping necessarily? Like, okay, this guy came in and sprayed him with water, which probably took away the pain, but sometimes people might be coming to the aid of the victim and not know what to do.
And not know the right first aid processes to follow, exactly.
Yes. And this is based on a true story, obviously, because we're seeing here the severity of the burns that this person sustained.
And this worker is Matthew Bocut. He's one of a handful of people that we fund to go around and speak to young workers and students about the hazards for young workers.
And so that obviously would have an impact on people. So, like, obviously he has burns that are permanent.
And you know, it's more than you might think. When we look at 2014 alone, there was over 6,500 young and new worker injuries. And in the last 10 years, there were 65 fatal accidents involving young and new workers. That's why we're trying to raise the awareness of the employer's responsibilities and the workers' rights towards health and safety.
And I'm sure a lot more can be learned on WorkSafe BC as well.
Absolutely. We have a lot of things on our own website, as usual, but we have a whole section that's dedicated to young and new workers. Videos like you saw, we have FAQs, we have a lot of stuff on your rights and responsibilities as a young worker.
Fantastic. Patrick, anything else you'd like to add?
I think that it's important that for young workers to know their rights.
Yes.
Go on our site, look at what your rights are. Also, if you're going to go into an industry, know what the hazards are. Do a little research. Find out, when you know what the hazards are, you're more likely to avoid those risks. Also, thirdly, if you don't know, if you're asked to do something, if you don't understand what the processes are, ask your supervisor or the owner, because it is the employer's responsibility to ensure that young and new worker is properly trained and orientated.
Well said. Patrick, thank you for being here.
Absolutely, thank you.
Very important topic, especially at this time of the year. If you would like more information, you can go to WorksafeBC.com. We are back after a quick break. Stay with us.